Liverpool inch ever closer to their 20th league title after Trent Alexander-Arnold got the winner in their 1-0 victory versus Leicester. After the game, Liverpool boss Arne Slot did admit that he wished Liverpool secured the title a little bit sooner.
I would prefer to win it, and I saw parts of the game today against Ipswich from Arsenal. I saw large part of their game against Madrid, so I don't think anyone expects them to draw points against Crystal Palace, because Mikel has created a great team over there who are really ready for the final part of the season. So I think we have to do it ourselves, and the first chance we have is Sunday on Anfield.
Yeah, again, loads of chat with Liverpool. We've got Peter, who's a Liverpool fan, who wants to have a little chat about Trent, and I think he wants to have a little dig at Gabby as well. So please, go on, Peter. Floor's yours.
Good morning, Peter.
Why would I have a dig at Gabby? Morning, boys.
Everyone does, mate. That's why. How are you this morning?
Well,
okay,
fair,
bud?
That's fair comment. That was what Gabby was put here for. No, on Trent, I heard your discussion earlier. I think, as I said to your research, I think the media are more concerned about Trent leaving than actual Liverpool supporters are. We've been resigned to the fact that he may go for most of the season now. If he goes, he goes. We will strengthen in the close season anyway. And I think we'll strengthen in both full-back positions. There's talks about Kerkers. There's talk about a player from Germany coming over. But we're resigned to the fact that if he goes, he goes. And we'd love him to stay. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, there's no players bigger than the club. It's the same stuff.
Peter.
As good as he is.
Peter,
yeah.
If you win the title on the weekend and Trent's celebrating in front of the fans, will you want to be one of the fans if you're there? Will you be booing Trent? Because we hear that some fans would be.
No. I mean, you get divvies at every club. Gabby, you've got yours.
Yeah, of course.
You do. Yeah, you get your divvies who take everything personal. The lad's pulled his tights out for us since he was a boy. He's been there since I think he was 6 or 8.
Yes.
And if he wants to go, then let him go. Don't stand in his way. Don't boo him. He doesn't deserve to be booed. Some supporters take it personal, and I don't know why, but they do. It's just a lad doing a job. I mean, if my job, if someone come to me and offered me loads more money to do my job elsewhere, the company I work for wouldn't see my backside for dust. I'd be away.
Top man, Pete. Appreciate it, buddy. For more now, there's only one person you can talk to. The legendary football writer and the host of Sunday Edition on talkSPORT, Mr. Henry Winter. Soon to be Sir Henry Winter, yes. I feel like it's going to be. Henry, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Henry.
Good morning, Troy. Morning, Gabby. And they say that 2 up front was going out of the game, but look at you two.
I was a winger, second half of my career, Henry.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And tracking back as well,
exactly, of course.
Occasionally was the key part. Occasionally was the key part. Henry, let's just dive straight into the Trent saga here. When will it be done and dusted, in your opinion? What's going on? And you are the man in the know.
Well, I mean, I have no inside information, but just looking at it from the outside, as Peter was saying, if a club of Real Madrid's stature comes in for you, it's not Real Mallorca he's going to, it's Real Madrid, the biggest club in the world. So you can understand that. I mean, I can understand why Trent Alexander-Arnold hasn't wanted to talk about it publicly. But I mean, I was there yesterday. I was sitting next to Crookie. You just heard his very fantastic commentary there. And you could just see that emotional, how much it meant. We always felt, look, you two guys have been there, but you are flesh and blood. You're human beings as well as professional footballers. And Trent Alexander's the same as Peter was saying. He's been there since he was, 7 or 8. And the way that he ran to the fans, you could just see that he's still got that connection there. But you can have that connection and that love for Liverpool Football Club and the respect for what the club's done for you, and also want to go and play, not simply for the money, but for Real Madrid, the chance of Champions Leagues and competing at the highest level, which, to be fair, Liverpool are increasingly so under Arne Slot. But look, that's a fantastic opportunity. And look, in terms of your question, I hope they do the title, and then at the end of the season, there's a very respectful Instagram post and maybe an interview with you guys, whoever, to say, listen, thanks for all the memories. I bow out as a champion and I will never forget you, and I will come back, and maybe his future longer term is back at Liverpool in some capacity. But what an opportunity. And I think they'll take pride, and their academy will take pride that they've developed this fantastic young man, or youngish man, as well as a world-class talent who's going on to an amazing club.
Henry, I want your thoughts on this race for the Champions League places. I mean, Troy will ask you about Chelsea and Manchester City, but looking at Villa on the weekend, isn't football crazy? Crystal Palace smash Aston Villa. Newcastle smashed Crystal Palace, Aston Villa smashed Newcastle. How good was that performance from Aston Villa on the weekend?
It was terrific. I mean, that what's a 15-minute spell in the second half when they really got at them. And look, Gabby, I don't need to tell you this, but you've got a coach who makes good decisions at the right time. And I quite like the way that Ollie Watkins came and spoke out afterwards. I mean, it's your generation has encouraged this. We saw Nicholas Fulbrook calling out West Ham players. I like that. I like that honesty. As long as and Ollie Watkins, I'm sure, would have said the same thing to Unai Emery. And he's a terrific player. One thing I don't understand, and you'd understand better than me because you played in these positions, but could you not play Marcus Rashford, who is best coming off the left, and Ollie Watkins, who is best through the middle? And then, of course, you've got to he loves Morgan Rogers, understandably.
John McGinn is so important as well. John McGinn's that sort of player that you have to find a position for him on the pitch because he performs everywhere he plays.
Absolutely, McGinn. And I actually thought your best player of the weekend, I know Ollie Watkins got the man of the match, I thought Yuri Tillemans, whenever I see him, his athleticism, his ball use, everything about him, outstanding.
Do you know what, quickly as well, so Troy, is that when I watched Villa recently, especially in the Premier League, they look like a team that are obsessed with getting back in the Champions League. And their form in the Premier League has shown that they can beat anyone at the moment the way they play in. Champions League is a must. The owners, the chief executives are coming out with quotes saying, we need Champions League. Every game is PSG from now on.
Well, it's also PSR. It's PSR.
Yeah, I'm saying, don't even talk more Villa with him, mate. Let's get on to some important stuff.
Let's talk about Blues.
Yeah, no, that's next year, mate. Don't worry about that. You'll have too much of that. I just wanted to talk about Man City. I was at the game at the weekend. Massive result against an Everton team that have revived themselves under David Moyes. Do you see signs that the rebuild is happening and they can compete again next season straight away?
Well, you look at Marmoush, you look at the striker that he is. I know he's brought to play alongside Haaland, but I just think he's a natural finisher. We saw that in Germany. We've seen that increasingly. But I think when you look at Manchester City's academy and the type of players that they've developed in recent years, Cole Palmer, obviously he wanted to play, so he moved on. Trafford as well. They've got so many good players. But you look at O'Reilly, and what I like about this generation is that they're pretty fearless. I mean, he's playing at left back, but he is a midfielder, and I hope they sort of build around him. Phil Foden will come good again, another sort of homegrown player. So, look, when you've got an elite manager like Pep Guardiola, and you see how he lives for every second of every game, you know that Manchester City will come back.
Henry, what about Arsenal? I think Kieran McKenna said after the game that it's the best team they played this season. They were fantastic, wasn't they? Will PSG look at Arsenal now and think, oh, we've got some tie? And also, should he be starting Saka in these sort of games? Because he could have easily had an ankle injury that out for the season.
Well, it was a really poor challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you do that to a fellow professional?
Yeah.
I mean, it's, and Bukayo Saka, he's not exactly a hitman who's going around sort of putting reducers in on fullbacks early, so that was worrying. But look, it's a balance between wanting to maintain that momentum, having players of the character of Saka who actually does need a few more minutes, and also characters like Declan Rice, who you know what Declan's like. He wants to play every single game in training, let alone in games. It'd be interesting to see whether they rest and rotate for their next game, because their season revolves around PSG, because they're not going to fall out the top 5 Champions League positions. So absolutely go for it. They've never won the Champions League. Yes. They played so well in the last round. They've got fantastic players. They've got that spine. Saliba at the back. Kyrgios come in and done well. They've got Miles Lewis-Skelly, who I'm sure will be up for PFA Young Player of the Year, whether he's left back stepping into midfield. The problem they've got is Thomas Partey stupidly got himself suspended for the, so who do they bring in there? But when you got Declan Rice playing like that and bossing a player, world-class player of Jude Bellingham's calibre, then Arsenal know they got a chance.
Henry, just on this really quickly, you're talking about that Arsenal keeping that and the rotation is doing really well. You look at Man United, you look at Spurs potentially tonight, talk of 5 or 6 changes. Who's got it the right way, and how will we know who's the team that's going forward? Because if Man U or Spurs get to the final and Arsenal go out, everyone will say that Arteta got it wrong. But if it goes the way we think it is, which Arsenal keep looking great and strong, and Man U maybe fall short in the next round, they'll say that Amorim doesn't know what he's doing.
Can you imagine what the Seven Sisters Road in North London is going to be like if Tottenham get to the Europa League final, get into the Champions League by winning it, and Arsenal go out against PSG? I mean, it will be chaos in North London. But, that's the way that sort of UEFA have done their games. I just think Arsenal have got to take... I mean, I was having an argument with Crookie about this yesterday, and Perry Grove was sort of heavily laying in on it. I think it's been a good season for Arsenal. You can see the development. Clearly, they need number 9. I don't need to tell you guys that. But you can just see that development. They're the last English team left in the elite competition, and Arteta deserves credit for that. But absolutely, I mean, Ange Postecoglou could go and get them into the Champions League and then be dismissed. It's a bonkers game.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers, Henry, as always, mate. Have a lovely time.
Thank you, Henry.
Catch up with you soon.
All right, bud.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.